Now that you're logged in, let's look at creating a class project type assignment. You can see over here that I'm logged into my account. Now you'll want to either go to My Stuff here, or you can go to My Stuff over here. You'll notice on the side there are a few different objects. The first one is class projects, and in here you probably won't have anything, but you can see that I've already started creating my class projects. So how do we start with a class project? We go to New, Class Project, and then it's going to ask for a name. Just realize you want this to be a unique name. So if you were to try and do something that might have already been used when you try and create the project, it's going to tell you that it's already been used. So use something that hasn't been used before. So poster. And you can see that I've already created a few sections, and that's your first tip here. If you have 3 different sections of a class and they're all going to be doing this, you don't want to just create one area where all students would submit to. That would have a lot of people in there. So what I've done is I have a Tuesday, Thursday, 1 p.m., a 5 p.m., and say I have a Wednesday, Thursday at 3 class. I can just simply enter that in and create the project. You could do this by section numbers. You can do this as class 1, 2, 3, 4, however you want to break that up. But definitely helps to give you unique identifiers so you don't run into project names that are already used. So go ahead and create the project. And once you've created it, you'll see now that here's my Wednesday, Friday, 3 p.m., and then I have my other projects here. The next step would be to create the assignment instructions, and this is really easy to do. Find the section or the class that you want, click on the project. Up in the top right here, you can see there's instructions for students. An easy way to do this to start is to simply copy this, go into your assignment area and paste. Now I've modified these a bit to make sure that the class project name, this is the most important part for when students log in, and then the link is active. I've made sure that those are designated a little bit better. So I've taken these instructions and I've put those in there, and then you would save. So for the students, all they would need to do is select this unique name, copy it, click the login, and then they go to a student login and paste. You can look at the student video to see their process on their end. But what does it look like when students submit? Let's take a look. So here I'm back in my class projects area, and you can see that I have these different classes. In this particular class, you can see that there's 7 submissions. So as students create and save content, it will add them in here. A few things that you want to note in your directions, which I have done right here, is that you want to change the title of your project to some unique identifier so you know which student is doing what. I use first initial and last name often, like M. Copa. So in here you can see that I have a few, the M. Copa poster, they've properly named that. And then M. Rosenberger and B. Happy and Joe Schmo. So each of these students, we would be able to know what student has done each one of these designs. So you can simply click to see them. You can also write comments over here back to the student on their design. One last thing you can do is when you're looking at this, you can actually view the amount of time they've spent on it, how many times they've accessed it, by clicking on the View Activity Log. This is a very basic log, but at least you can see that the student has been in there a few times to edit it. So one tip I have is that you can create templates that students can make a copy of for a project if you want to give them some guidance. For this one, I've created a spelling list, and students could simply go to Copy Design, and once they copy it, it makes a copy of that individual piece. Now here, this is where we would tell them to rename it to make sure that they put their name in. So like M. Jacob. That way they've got their title done. Then you already have the spelling list in here, and they can do the design behind that. Once they click Save, it immediately will appear within the class. So here's a student project. This is in my student account, and I've gone through and I've taken the spelling list and I've actually done some pictures behind that that represent to me the words that we're talking about. So for a student, they need to make sure that they save, and then they also need to make sure that they download copies, and they can download for free right here, to make sure they have backup copies, and it saves a JPEG of each one of their designs. One thing you'll notice is that the students, again, can see and edit individual designs, so we have to be careful there. But also, they cannot delete any of the designs at least. So that way they won't be removing any other students' projects. However, on the faculty side, if we go back into our faculty account, you'll notice that you do have the ability to delete designs for each one of those if something does come up. And that's it. Students won't need to create the account. They just need to log in like they normally do. And you're going to want to create those individual project areas for each one of your classes. As they submit, you'll be able to see each one of those, make sure they have named them correctly. And then you can also use templates within the class project to give them a base to start with and allow them to explore, like in this one.